As soon as I sat down to start recording this episode, a train started honking its horn or whatever. And it does it so many times. It's the same train every day. It's always at different times of the day, though. So, like, it's always hit or miss. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm trying to, like, talk into the mic, but I'm so frustrated, bro. Like, we know you're coming. There's train tracks all over the city. We know you're coming. Aren't that what the, like, white beams are for that come down with, like, the blinking red lights? Like, baby, we know you're coming. You don't have to keep honking your horn. I have never heard a train honk this many times. And it's the same one, just different times every day. Anyway, hopefully it's not too disruptive. Welcome to the Simply Jamilah podcast. Hi, my name is Jamilah. I'm happy you are here with me today. I am going to do my best to be a decent, like, human speaker person, but I'm gonna be very real with you. I am so tired right now. My eyes are heavy, and what's sad is that it's barely a quarter past noon and I've taken 2 naps. We are fighting for our lives. So we are inching towards going back to school, and I am trying to basically wake up earlier and earlier as each week passes. So last week it was 6 a.m. and then this week we've been waking up at 5:30 a.m. and it's been a fight. It's been hard. I'm nervous for next week when we have to wake up at 5 a.m. because that's going to be what it's like. Once we hit waking up at 5 a.m. next week, we're waking up at 5 a.m. until June. And that just makes me want to cry, low key. I'm going to get used to it. It's going to be fine. But then it's also like, okay, do I want to get used to it? Because I kind of love sleeping in. I'm not going to hold you. All that to say, if my words are messed up or whatever the case may be, we are just adjusting to being awake. Wait, that sounds really bad, but I hope you know what I mean. We're just adjusting to a new schedule as far as like time and things goes. But anywho, I am happy you are here and I'm ready to get into what this episode's all about. First, starting with a weekly win. Honestly, it is hard still to have or even think of a weekly win. I do have one for this week because there are simply 2 things taking up my feed. Nolan Wells, which I'm happy. Thank you to the Thread community for keeping his name alive as we continue to fight for justice, because there's so much evidence, and all of a sudden people are going quiet. So very grateful to the Threads community that I just happened to be a part of that is keeping Nolan's name alive and well until we get justice for him. So that's been a big thing on my feed. But then the other thing that's been on my feed that is actually a win for the week is Spider-Man Brand New Day. I am living for the memes. I'm living for people determining what is little potato versus big potato energy. I am here for it. Florence Pugh was a beautiful surprise and she ate it up. I am so, because I didn't watch any of the interviews or anything prior to going into the movie, so I was new to seeing Florence Pugh. I don't know if anyone else knew that she was going to be in it. I know there was a lot of secrecy around Sadie Sink's character, but I think because there was so much secrecy around Sadie Sink's character, I forgot she was in it. Until she showed up, I was like, oh yeah, she is in this movie. But what nobody's talking about is Liza being in it. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. She is the older woman who came from the Bear, recently won a prestigious award. I don't remember if it's like an Emmy or an Oscar, but she won an award for the Bear, her performance in the Bear, and she's in it as like the police chief, which I think was perfect casting. I absolutely loved it. So Spider-Man Brand New Day has broken some box office records as far as like release weekend. I don't have the exact numbers because low-key when box office records are broken, I get mildly confused. I know domestically, as like in the United States, it broke a record, but I want to say like if you combine internationally, it broke records. Like I think they were predicting for it to hit like 1 billion, like 900 million, somewhere in there. So I don't know. It was a big release and it broke some records. Either way, I mean, I'm happy about it. I think that's awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. I want to say, if I remember correctly, I could be like lying, but I think it is the first 5-star movie that I watched this year. Like I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. So I don't know. And I don't know if it's just because like I'm a Marvel fan. No, it's definitely not because I'm a Marvel fan, because I don't know if anyone's going to agree with me on this. I feel like Marvel has been sucking recently, like truly garbage. So I think Marvel needed the win for this movie, but I don't know. It was a nice little surprise. And then, Hulk is my favorite superhero. So once I saw Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, when I saw Mark Ruffalo, he didn't even have to be the Hulk. He can just be Mark Ruffalo. And I'm like, yeah. So big congratulations to the cast and crew of Spider-Man Brand New Day for breaking records and doing amazing. I am happy because it's apparently there's going to be a fifth one. But I am also sad because Zendaya's already said she's planning on taking a break after, this big run that she has for the year, because she has Dune coming out later in the year and the new Shrek movie coming out later in the year that she voices in. So, and then after that, we have award season, and then she's going to disappear. And I assume with her disappearing, because Tom is absolutely obsessed with calling her his wife and just being married to her, which I think is, awesome, like that husband of the year. But I think because of that, and, they have just this awesome relationship, he is also going to stay out of the limelight for a while. So even though we're getting a fifth Spider-Man, it's giving Euphoria season 3 energy, as in we're going to be waiting years before we actually get it. So that was my spiel. Now let's get into what this episode is all about. I mean, you saw the title. I feel like it's almost self-explanatory, but, I'm excited to talk about it. So as we near the end of summer, well, it's like not near the end of summer. Summer technically doesn't end until like September 21st. And I believe fall equinox is September 22nd. So like we got some time. But if you work in education or you have a child that like is a part of the school system, then you understand what I mean about summer coming to an end. That just like break, that long pause, all the camps, all of the how am I going to occupy my child energy. It's coming to the end. School is about to be back in session. Oh, it's about to be back in session. So as we near the end of summer, in that sense, I have come to realize, and I want to say it is such an accomplishment. If you know what I've been through, especially last year, then you know how big of a deal it is. I haven't hit the negatives. My bank account hasn't hit the negatives. And I give a lot of that credit to my side hustles. I do. I give a lot of that credit to my side hustles. Last year, it was kind of consistently we were in the negatives. Like we were just trying to get back on our feet after all that had happened at the end of 2024 and then losing my apartment. Like we were just really trying to come back to it. But this year we have not hit the negatives and our rent was raised. So I'm kind of proud of me at the moment. Now, have we had some near misses? Absolutely. But I have gotten it on time and saved it, and we have been good, and I'm praying that I continue to be good and continue to not hit the negatives, because I don't want to make that phone call of like, hey, I need financial help again. I really don't want to do that. I define a side. I didn't actually look up a definition for this. I do have my like little notes and everything, but I didn't look up a definition. I basically define a side hustle as like anything that isn't my main 9-to-5 job, if that makes sense. Granted, my job is a 9-to-5. It's 7 to 2:30, but like, you know what I mean? Anything that is outside of that, to me, is considered a side hustle. So even though I have 2 jobs, one is my main job. She's my main chick. We're married. And then I got my side piece. So I wanted to go through all of my different side hustles that have benefited me somehow financially, whether it was a penny or a few $100s. Just want to talk about it and just share how I have survived financially despite honestly working in education in North Carolina. Even though I think they passed the budget, and the start of the school year is going to be great for a lot of beginning teachers, I want to say. Like they get a significant pay raise. Everyone gets a pay raise, but the beginning teachers get, I think, the most significant one. Apparently, according to what I read on the internet, I get a 3% pay raise, which is 50 cents. Oh. All right, so let's get into these side hustles. The first one, the, I guess, next biggest, like, quote-unquote breadwinner is that second job. It's my side piece. It is the after-school program / the summer camp. I want to say that I, like, especially this summer, because that's kind of where I realized, oh, we're not in the negatives. The summer camp has saved me. Now, have I been fighting fighting with a capital FIGHTING the past couple of weeks for my life. Have I been fighting? Yes, I have been fighting for my life because these kids have been horrible. The attitudes are on 3,000. You're getting in my face and disrespecting me. I simply can't. Cool. You don't want to go to the swimming pool? It's fine. Don't change into a bathing suit, but you're going to go sit outside. Okay? You're going to go sit outside and you're going to go support everyone who doesn't want to go into the swimming pool. And like, just the entitlement's been crazy. It's just been a very rough couple of weeks with the summer camp, and I have several kids that are a part of the camp that I absolutely love and that I've really connected with, so I'm gonna miss them, but you cannot stop me from taking the biggest celebratory drink next Monday night when I am done with camp. Camp ends next Friday, but baby, I'm done on Monday. Okay. Whew. And even though it's been rough, I am grateful for it because with the camp I get more hours than I do after school. So with the camp, I've been working the afternoon shift. It tends to be close to 6 hours, whereas the after school program, I would say I probably work close to 3 hours. So with the camp in 2 weeks, because we get paid bi-weekly. So with the camp, I would make more in one paycheck than I did working after school. Now, I have figured out how to balance that out and kind of keep the train going. So this upcoming school year, I will be working the after school program 3 days out of the week. And that'll be roughly 9 hours each week, which is a little bit more than the summer camp. So that'll give me just a little bit more with my bi-weekly paychecks. And yes, I will still be taking 3 classes despite all of this, but I've figured it out, what will work for me in my schedule, what will make me not feel like a horrible dog mom, and what will give me just the tiniest ounce of freedom. Quitting the restaurant was kind of the biggest thing, so that frees up my weekends. There's no stress when I wake up on Saturday morning or even Friday morning. So with the after school program for this upcoming year, I have it set to where I will be there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, which I think works out significantly. That leaves Wednesday and Friday for me to work, like hit the ground running with school stuff, or because we are still getting my health in order, it gives me space for going to get blood work done and just getting all that stuff figured out. And me and my therapist are going to talk about it next week, just kind of figuring out a schedule for the school year, since I will no longer be like because the clinic I was going to is like attached to the school I was at. So since I will no longer be at that school, we have to figure out like how I'm going to get to her, or if I'm going to continue to go to her. I need to continue to go to her because it just like helps me so much, whether it's good days or bad days. The good days are great, and it feels good to have a good day and to go in and be like, listen, we can just yap and da. But then the bad days, it also feels good to go and be like, listen, I'm so irritated and I have to get this off my chest and I need you to help me through it. So we can figure that out. And Clover, I know, will be okay. The spring semester of the last school year, I worked 2 days at the after school program, and that would be roughly 12 hours. And I know a lot of dog people are like, ooh, leaving her in there for 12 hours. Like, that's not okay. Like, da. And like, I get it, girl. I get it. Okay. I know it's not the best, but it's kind of the current state of the situation until I have a certification, so I'm able to get a certified librarian job. But also what I like this year is that I would rather be doing 3 days of after school than doing what I was, which was 2 days of after school and then maybe working at the restaurant on a Saturday night. And that would be like 7 or 8 hours at night. And I absolutely hated that. I felt so horrible for leaving. She was either eating dinner super early or super late. There was no schedule. So now with this, I am allotted a schedule. But having this little part-time job has helped so much. Again, summer camp wise, and then after school, it'll keep me going financially. And I'm excited. Now, there is 1 week between, so camp ends next Friday, and then there's a whole week after that where there is no school and no camp. I'm not working. Absolutely not. There's like a whole separate thing that happens that week, and I was just like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm grateful for this particular side hustle, this side piece, if you will, not only because it is the second, like, more significant source of income, but also it made me realize that I'm not as bad with little kids as I think I am. Yes, I did say they're atrocious, and they have been. Their attitudes have been awful. And yes, I ended last school year about to lose my freaking marbles because what do you mean the last like 3 or 4 weeks, every child didn't have homework except one? Why does this one kid in kindergarten still have homework? And we're about to like literally touching the end of the school year. Like, what do you mean? So yes, there are annoyances and there are things that just make me want to like, there are days where I'm going to lose it. I'm going to scream. It's all going to be game over. But at the end of the day, I realized I'm not bad with them. The after school kids and the summer camp kids are two different groups of people, but some of the after school kids have done the summer camp and they have gotten so excited to see me. I've gotten hugs from them, and so I'm excited to return to after school. And yeah, I'm hoping it's a really good year. And it made me, the love that little kids have and the appreciation that little kids have, I think is something that I didn't realize I was like yearning for or like needed in my life until they started giving me hugs at the after school. And I've been warned that the kids will love me just as much with the elementary school I'm going to. So I'm excited to give elementary a try and just receive all the little tiny hugs. I definitely need to buy pants that I like don't care about but are good quality, so when they get their nasty little germs and crumbs on me, I can just like not freak out because it's not, a pair of pants that I'm like absolutely obsessed with or anything. Obsessed with. I definitely spoke fast in that moment. That's the other thing. I speak really fast sometimes. I don't know how y'all keep up. Okay, so shout out summer camp and after school. Another side hustle that I have is door dashing. For a while there, like last summer when I worked at the restaurant and I did not get the hours I was promised, I relied so heavily on door dashing to get me through. And like when I visited my family in Tennessee, I relied on door dashing to like help me out and get me through. And I'm very grateful to be at a point where I don't have to DoorDash. I like genuinely don't have to, but there's like day trips that I've decided to take this summer. There's like little activities with friends. Like I just painted my dog Clover at a little paint and sip with a friend, and like gas is a thing that my car needs. I had to have like an emergency oil change one day over the summer, and all of that got paid for by like just random DoorDash shifts. So even though I don't have to DoorDash, it's just good for paying for basically the fun things. The random oil change isn't a fun thing, but like it was an emergency that needed to happen. But like DoorDashing helped with that. So I don't do it every week. I don't do it all the time, but I do it just kind of when I'm like, I have the free time. I don't feel bad. And I will go out and DoorDash for like an hour, hour and a half. I don't feel bad. Clover's fine. Clover will put herself in her crate sometimes. Not when she gets in trouble either. Like when she genuinely just wants to like go somewhere and vibe. So I know that at the end of the day, she's like not super upset about being in her crate. I think she just would rather have it to where she can free flow as far as having the gate open. That ain't happening. She's not destroying my home again. But with her only being in there for like an hour and a half while I DoorDash and I go out and I make like $40 to $50, like I'm good with that personally. So very grateful for that DoorDash side hustle. If you are able to, I definitely recommend it. I don't even live like in a big city, so to make that like per hour and a half-ish that I dash is kind of exciting for me personally. And I can only imagine if I like lived in Raleigh or a bigger city and I dashed there. I can only imagine like how much more I could possibly make. One thing I like about doing it where I live currently is the fact that not everything is far. So even though I am out dashing for an hour and a half, I'm literally using maybe 10 to 14 miles worth of gas. Like I'm not using a lot of gas either. So it's pretty great. So the next side hustle that I have, funnily, it's like weird. So it's in an unintentional weird way, it's YouTube, but like it's a penny. Literally like a penny or three, I think. Somewhere in there. Basically, my YouTube channel is not monetized. We are not near being monetized. I don't have the watch hours or the subscribers, which is fine. Again, I've said it before. I'm pretty sure that like analytics, it is what it is. Like, I don't care. I'm just documenting my life. And I love making videos. I love watching my own videos, low-key. It is so fun for me. I just really enjoy like just looking back on the memories and be like, wow, I did that, or I experienced that, or we did that. Like it's just kind of a crazy thing. I actually have a whole podcast episode planned about YouTube, so a lot of my thoughts and things I'm going to save for that. But what I will say for the sake of quote unquote making money is that I somehow have a couple of videos with like over 1,000 views that are monetized. And I didn't realize they were monetized until, again, I just go back and watch my own videos. So I was like thinking about that one family cruise that we went on the, it was a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. And so I went back to like watch my video, and it took a couple of seconds, but I was like, why am I watching an ad? And it like shocked me a little bit. Like, wait, this video is monetized. It like threw me for a loop. I was amazed. So that video is monetized, and I want to say there's another one that has over 1,000 views. But of course, because like that really doesn't mean much, I think I'm just gonna make like less than a nickel. But hey, money is money, right? Money is money. Another source of income that also, she's on the lower end, but like it's fine. It shocks me that it, when people support me that I don't know, it's weird to me. And when people that I do know support me, it's weird to me. So my next side hustle or source of income is Chronicles of Chaos. It is my quarterly magazine. Each issue is just 99 cents. So it's not like I'm making a bunch. I want to say WooCommerce takes like a third of sales after a few days. And I unintentionally, I guess I just wanted to like test out to make sure that everything worked properly. Like I bought a magazine of mine, and then I realized what I had done, and I was like, oh, but it's fine. It's just 99 cents. And other people have purchased my digital magazine as well, which I think is absolutely insane and crazy. I've only had one issue come out. It came out in June, and it was way shorter than I anticipated, but I'm excited about future issues because they're going to have so many more pages. They're going to have more original works as far as like me drawing and artwork and whatever digital collages and things that I tend to make in that realm. I'm excited to have more. I think I need to get that first issue out just to start, to have a basis, to have a foundation. And now that the foundation is there, it's like, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep tracking. So each issue comes out every season. It's the first day of a new season. That's how I know when fall equinox is, because that is the next issue of Chronicles of Chaos. No matter how many pages are added or whatever the case may be, it'll always be 99 cents, because at the end of the day, it's not about making money from it. It's about writing and sharing my work. Another side hustle that I have that has recently been shared and people have bought things, which is so weird to me, like weird, but it is my station. It's kind of a random mix of things. It's stationery, stickers, and sites, as in websites and website design, but it's called JR Designs, as in JAYARE, and then the word designs, as in me, J, I am my designs. And I kind of came up with the J because people can't say my name. And so whenever I order like things and they're like, can I have a name for that order? I'm like, I don't even want to go through the trouble of you butchering it in front of every person in this establishment. So I'm just going to give you the letter J. And like even the, this is so bad, but even the summer camp and the after school kids, I said my name one time and it was, like I said, a foreign language. So I was like, you know what, just call me by the letter J. And so now whenever, there's a new kid that comes to summer camp or they're like, what's your name? I'm like, it's one letter. And then this one random kid will come up, J. And it's the cutest thing. I love it. But I'm okay with being J. I'm perfectly fine with that. Even like this past Monday, we went to the swimming pool, which was, when I say a crap show, I'm trying to do better about swearing, but if you know what I mean when I say crap. But it was bad. Okay. It was horrible. And somehow I ended up being the leader. Me. I should never be a leader at a swimming pool when there is 25 kids. Never. But I ended up being that person. And the woman was like, what's your name? And then I said Jamilah. And then I was like, but the kids call me Jay. And so while we were at the pool and these kids were again off their rocker, like, what's in the air? What's in the water? What's going on? They were off their rocker. But anytime I needed to go like trudge through the water and go talk to a kid, the woman who owns the pool that we go to, she'd be like, Miss J, can you da-da-da, Miss J, da-da-da, or Miss J, what's that kid's name? When she said, what's that kid's name? I would be quick to give it, because you're older than me, you got more experience, whoop them, get them, yell at them, because respectfully, I don't want to, and I'm tired, and I'm over it. That's how bad this past Monday was. Anywho, that's the whole explanation behind JR Designs, but I make and design. I don't make the stationery, but I design the stationery and then I send it off to a manufacturer and they bring my vision to life. Right now, as of when I'm currently recording this, we have our 2026-2027 planner live. It does go from July 26 to June 27. So there is kind of a month missing if you order one now, but like it's okay, I think. And then I have 3 notepads. 2 of them are 50 pages and they're weekly planning notepads. So just like to plan out the 3 priority things you have to do every week. And then one is just planning your meals out every week. I absolutely love that one. That one saved me at the grocery store like so bad. I love that one. And then the 3rd notepad is 100 pages and it's just planning out your like every day. So it's literally just like a list notepad, but in the top left corner there is a section for 3 big things that you want to get done, and then the bottom right corner is just like if you're in a meeting with your like daily to-do list notepad and you want to like doodle or something, you can do that there if there's just anything you need to get off your mind, whatever the case may be. And then there's a priority thing on the daily notepads each day to do your morning routine and to make sure that you wind down. So love those. The planner is $18. The 100-page notepad is $15, and then the 50-page notepads are $12. I'm still like playing around with the pricing, but I do want to make sure that as far as like unit sale and then like just the amount of time that is put into everything, I want to make sure that there is some version of a profit, hence the pricing. So we have those 3 notepads right now, and then we have 2 stickers right now. One sticker is based off of if it's not the same, but it's a fairy that I gave my friend forever ago. It was the first original piece of like digital work that I'd ever been proud of. It's a faceless fairy, and I gave it to my friend and I've held on to it for forever. And I was like, I want to make this a sticker. I want to share it with everyone. And then the 2nd sticker is Remain Unbothered. It is a vinyl sticker. It is a bit bigger than the fairy sticker. It's about 2 inches high, like height, and then about 3 inches wide, and it is just kind of based off of Jamilah is Unbothered. If you like listened to the podcast years ago, you know how much I love that podcast, but she no longer has it anymore. However, I just have remembered like over the years since she ended her podcast, like that I need to remain unbothered. So it's just that podcast and the guest and the advice from the guest on that podcast, like it's just stayed with me and I've turned it into a sticker basically. So those are the 2 stickers that I have right now. The fairy is smaller. She's like 1.5 inches wide by about 2 inches tall, and she's like kind of got a glossy finish, but I was just playing around with finishes, seeing what I liked more, and I definitely like the vinyl sticker more. So it's something that I'm going to keep in mind when we drop more stickers at the end of August. I have little things planned for basically the rest of the year as far as just different things to launch, including an undated planner, so you can have that at any time of the year, and our planner for 2027, which I'm super excited about. It's going to have memes and things, and it's going to be so fun. One thing I love about the planner is that the planner has a weekly layout, and basically each week there is a different kind of just design, as far as like there's flowers one week, or there's tennis shoes, or there's, you know, a week dedicated to like hearts and pinks and things for Valentine's Day. There's one that's dedicated to civil rights because MLK Day, but the whole week is just kind of has that design. So I absolutely I love that. I think it's what makes my planners unique and my designs unique, is that each page is basically different. So that's JR Designs. And then I added the website part because really, honestly, what even inspired me to do JR Designs is the fact that I have been designing websites for over a year now, as far as like for other people. And it's gotten to a point where so many people are like, can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like, I need a place to put down my process so you understand and you can just like pay me accordingly. There's no confusion like how to go about this, because if there's any sort of side hustle that brings in money, as far as me specifically, when it comes to creative pursuits, it's definitely building websites for people. I have been paid very well, decently well from it. And I hope that I continue to get paid well from it. And I hope that, you know, I continue to not be like horrible to work with, I guess. I don't know. It's been fun. I have one website that I'm working on right now. I have one that I need to like reach out to as far as like a prospective client. So it's just been fun kind of building that clientele, and I don't know. I'm having a really, really good time with it. I will say it's something that like takes time. So I have like to build out schedules. But one thing I do with my clients as far as like sending them an invoice is I make sure like I will have a spreadsheet outlined of what I do and when I do it. So that way when they get the bill, because I have an hourly rate that I charge, but when they get the bill, there's no questions about like, why is it this amount? Well, I worked on it for this long and these are the elements that I completed. I don't know if that's good or bad business, but that's just what I do with my side hustle. And like, I don't have an LLC or anything like that. Like, I'm just out and about just doing it for fun, honestly. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to make this website for you as a favor if you're taking up my time. Like, you're going to pay me for my time, you're going to pay me for my brain, you're going to pay me for my creativity, because there's some creativity when it comes to designing websites. And so JR Designs is just like the hub for all of that. And then when it comes to YouTube and Chronicles of Chaos and JR Designs, I want to make this point as far as like side hustles go, because it's all things that I love. And like with YouTube, I would just be making videos, whether it's a book video, a vlog. I have a little chit chat video going up this weekend as far as like talking about me leaving high school education and just what I loved about my kiddos. So like no matter what, with documenting my journey as I become a librarian, like all of the things, that's what YouTube is. So even though it has all of my things, all of my favorite hobbies, and I was gonna say the word things again. I can't think of anything else, okay? The sleep deprivation is real right now. Even though I slept most of the day yesterday. But anyway. Whether it's YouTube, Chronicles of Chaos, which just shows my love of writing, or JR Designs, which shows my love of designing and digital things. Really, at the end of the day, it is not about monetization. Now, I will say, as I said earlier, I'm not building a website for free. And JR Designs is basically the basis for like my website design process. But the stationery and the stickers and all of that, truly, it's not about monetization. It's about sharing my work and my version of art with the world. And I like having the ability to do that. And if that means, asking for 99 cents, so that way it feels kind of worth it to be writing a digital magazine, or accidentally getting a couple of YouTube videos monetized, which I think is so funny, or designing stationery that I think could be beneficial and aesthetically pleasing depending on your aesthetic, then I'm going to do it. And I'm going to work to not feel bad about it, because something I have been really fighting. Part of why JR Designs hasn't gone beyond a website and an Instagram page, because I do have an Instagram for it. But I think the reason that it's just been kind of like there and not this big thing that I'm like promoting in the comments of other people's channels and platforms and stuff. It's just, I just want to be able to like share the work, but I feel bad asking for any version of compensation, like monetarily. If we could go back to a barter system and that version of society, I would eat it up. You give me 6 eggs and I'll give you this planner. I would love that. I think any guilt I have about, trying to sell things and asking for money in return, I would not have it if we lived in a barter society. Like, I would absolutely, you cut my shrimp, or like you devein the shrimp and remove the tail, you absolutely can have, I will build your landing page in 3 seconds flat. Absolutely. Thank you for the 2 pounds of deveined shrimp. I appreciate it. Like, if we could go back to that, I would eat it up. I would be living my best life. I would be so happy. Like, having that but in modern society would be awesome. I do just want to reiterate that those things, it's not about monetization. It's about sharing the work with the world, sharing my vision with the world, sharing my version of art with the world. I'm not an artist, but I like designing. So am I a designer? I don't know. That's a weird thing to say, to think. I'm working on that self-confidence, self-esteem, who am I kind of stuff. It just, I'm in my 20s. I got time to be okay with calling myself a designer, because I think the thing is, it's a fact, but it doesn't feel right. So I'm working on feeling right with it. One thing I will say that has not been deemed a side hustle and has not been monetized at all is this podcast. There have been opportunities to like say ads for the podcast, but honestly, there's just never been things that I'm like, yeah, I can promote this and yeah, I can slide this in there and it'd be super seamless. I can't even say what I want to say for my own podcast seamlessly. And you think I can promote your product or service seamlessly? Girl, no. So it's not that I don't want to. I mean, I think it'd be cool, but it's not the goal. The goal is honestly to just have a digital diary at the end of the day. That's what this is. And believe it or not, other people listen. Still a shock. Still a shock. I think it's going to be a shock to the system for a very, very, very long time. It amazes me. But at the end of the day, if you think about the fact that I have literally no niche, this podcast has no niche. I hardly interview anyone. I really want to interview people, but like, I would like to do kind of a nice little live setup with interviewing people, but it's kind of hard to do that when Clover has a pee pad in the corner. Like, and granted, the pee pad has been doing wonders for her not peeing on my carpet anymore, but it's still just kind of like, I don't know. I haven't figured out a way to really go about doing that. So it's like, what is the point of this podcast besides me sitting down and just talking about literally whatever and I'm just documenting life. It is a diary. Now, do I have my journal? Yes. And have I been journaling more? Yes. But it's, I mean, my journal's just another diary. I just got to talk, whether it's writing, talking, or talking. So that's what this podcast is. And because there is no niche, I don't really feel like any ad at the moment, as far as people who have reached out, I don't think that they would really just work. And it's a side hustle, right? At the end of the day, I mean, this isn't, this is just fun. But if it were to be a side hustle, I would want it to like make sense. I think it's important to have fun with your side hustles. So that's why I would like for whatever ad or whatever I do for the podcast to make sense. But for now, she's not monetized. And yes, your side hustles, again, fun, right? Door dashing, it can be fun. I be in there. If there's a new album that's out, you're going to catch me listening to it while I'm door dashing. And I'm going to be, like vibing, like sitting there nodding my head like, ooh, do I like this? Do I like this? As I hear the ding, 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 ding. I can't mimic the noise, but I will tell you, after you DoorDash long enough, that noise just kind of like stays in your brain and you hear it even when you don't want to hear it, like in your dreams or when you're watching a commercial or something. Like it's in there. After you do it enough, she's in there, but it's okay. It's fine. And just even like, I love when I explore a new neighborhood. Like there are some neighborhoods where I live I never knew existed. Backwoods. They are in the backwoods. But what's crazy is that, so I like live in a small town. Like it's not a city the way like Nashville or Atlanta or Charlotte are, but like it has a small downtown and like we have a Trader Joe's and like a Target and things. So lots of little shopping centers and there's like a mall. But then it's like, I don't know, it feels like a small kind of very small city in that sense. And then all of a sudden I'm like driving and there's a ton of trees and really big houses and like, where am I? It amazes me. So door dashing is fun and it feeds into, because remember, or I don't know if you knew this, but I studied interior architecture in college. So it kind of feeds into that part of me who loves architecture and who loves interior design and who's just like curious as I'm like looking out at people's homes and I'm like slowly driving by like, ooh, that'd be a nice dream home if only this, or like, wow, I would love to live here if only this. So door dashing, it can be fun, especially if you're into that kind of stuff. I want to end the meat of this episode with this. I have always been told the importance of having multiple streams of income, whether it's investing or whatever the case may be, which I do invest. I don't know how, low key. I kind of just like put money somewhere and then have somebody else invest for me. Is that bad? Probably. That's probably really bad, but that's a whole separate thing. Anyway, as far as like being aware of my multiple income streams, this is my way of achieving that. Having these different side hustles, it's my way of achieving it. And I'm hoping, it'd be really nice to grow in some areas to see more fruition, like with JR Designs and with Chronicles of Chaos. I'm shocked and grateful that I have not been the only one to like buy things from myself, whether accidental or on purpose. But it's, I would still like to just grow and keep going in that arena. Now, YouTube is a whole separate beast. And like I said, we'll talk about her soon. I feel like, especially in this economy and just like where society is and the uncertainty, continuous uncertainty of the future, I think having multiple income streams is a good idea if you can swing it. Or if you're chilling with your one job and you're happy with what you're making, girl, I'm happy for you. Please give me that energy. But also, like I said, I love being able to share some version of my art and my work with the world. And if that means doing it, by starting my own little side hustles, then I absolutely will. But I also love being there for the kids. So I definitely going to go back to the after school program. Now, will you be seeing me at summer camp next year? That is a separate conversation because my life has been tried truly ever since Independence Day. So like for most of the summer. Fortunately, I only worked consistently 1 day a week, so that was great. But if they were to ask me to do it again next summer, I'd be like, Now let's move on to, I don't know, I don't have a really good transition for this. So we're just going to hop into some things that I have been recently consuming and checking out. So I talked about Spider-Man Brand New Day and how much I loved it, how much I just amazing, gave it 5 stars. What I didn't talk about was The Odyssey, which okay. First off, got carded. Honored that you think I look that young that I have to be carded to watch The Odyssey. But also, I haven't been carded to watch a movie in like almost a decade. It's been such a long time. If I ever even was carded to watch a movie. Like, I'm really trying to think about the last time I was, and I can't even think about it. So that was kind of a wild, like, I literally stared at her, and she was like, do you have your ID? And I was like, oh, you're for real. Like, it threw me off. But I watched The Odyssey. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd because I can appreciate all the effort that went into it. As far as like Christopher Nolan and the crew, the score in the sound engineering is amazing. Oh my goodness. I said it on Letterboxd. Personally, for me, it made the movie. It saved the movie. The movie is not bad by any means, but I know the story. And I was telling my friend, I was like, it just felt weird sometimes because I love Tom Holland. I really, truly do. But I feel like he only has 2 accents. It's Peter Parker and Tom Holland, if that makes sense. So he sounded extra like American and like Peter Parker-y to me. In The Odyssey, like, I was just like, every time he spoke, I was like, I need you to change your accent, deepen your voice, give me something, do something. Facial expressions are there, but like, do something else. Like, I don't know, it was just, the voice was throwing me off. Some of the dialect was also just so crazy and like Americanized, and it's ancient Greece. Like, it was kind of throwing me for a loop there. And like, I think her name, is it Samantha Morton? I could be wrong, but the actress who played Circe ate it up, grossed me all the way out. That scene grossed me out. I literally could not look, but she killed that entire scene, and I am so happy for her. But I will say, one thing that just I struggled with, and I think it's part of why I gave it 4 stars, is it just felt so long. Like, and I know it was a long movie, but like, I want to say like Endgame is a long movie and Infinity War is a long movie, and I know I'm naming like Marvel and Avenger things, and I get that, but like those movies I can think of as being Avatar. Every Avatar movie is long, but I never feel the length of them. I did with Avatar Fire and Ash, but like the other 2 Avatar movies, never feel the length. The Avenger movies, never feel the length. This movie, brother, I felt that length. I'm sitting here like, why is this scene taking so long? I'm consistently checking my phone, checking the time. Like, are we almost there? Are we almost done? I liked it initially, and I can appreciate the effort that went into it, but I don't ever want to watch it again unless I'm like actively trying to time the chores that I do around the house. Next up, I listened to a book. I did an audiobook. It is Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. There was so much curiosity for this with me personally. My friend and I went to not Barnes & Noble. Absolutely not. We went to Books A Million, which is near her home, farther away. And there was a whole table dedicated to the book. And we were like, okay, what makes this book so special that there's a cookbook for it? Like, truly, why is there a lights out cookbook? We were trying to figure it out. So she bought the book. And then I was like, I'm kind of curious too. So I got the audiobook. And wow, when like dark romance, like where like was not ready for the mob or the mafia. Or is that the same thing? Man, if it's not the same thing, please don't come for me. I want to live. Okay, I really truly want to live, but like was not ready for that kind of like organized crime cover up. I don't even know what you would call it. It was crazy. That book was crazy. It was, I don't know if steamy or dirty is the right word to use. It was a journey, but like I kind of liked it. Like it was wild. Super stalker, super creepy, but like I kind of liked it. Like I would read it again, but like read it in the audiobook sense because that was a good audiobook. I don't think I could actually have the physical book in front of me and read it and enjoy it the same as I would with the audiobook. That audiobook was so good. Creeped me out, bro. Creeped me out, but was so good. I cannot wait to rehash this and talk about it a whole lot more when I do my Q3 reading wrap up because, babe, that was a good book. It wasn't a good book. The physical book that I finished recently, The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. And I'm like, it had me in the beginning, bro. It had me in the beginning. I loved the beginning of it. I love the history. I mean, what do you mean we're talking about MLK? What do you, in like in a very accurate historical sense, and like being trans in the late 70s? Like I was eating it up. I truly was like enjoying the first part of that book. And then we get to the second part and I was like, what is this? Why did we go downhill so fast? And the ending was so unsatisfying. There was a big moment that's supposed to happen and that was so incredibly unsatisfying. Like I was ready to shut the book in that moment, but then I realized I still had a whole nother part to go because the book is split up into 6 parts. It was rough. I don't want to read that anymore. I understand now why there were so many copies of it at McKay's. Like, I get it. I was so confused because I don't know if it was like when it initially came out or roughly like 2021 time that a lot of people had read it and like it was a popular book for a second there on the internet. And so I was kind of confused when I went shopping and there were so many copies on the shelf. I get it now. I get it. Like, if we could have the same energy that the first half of the book had in the second half, I think it'd be great. But it just fell off. Lastly, I listened to a new album. Yes, I listened to Pedal by Ariana Grande, but I'm scared to talk about Ariana Grande's new music at this moment because so many people are talking about Ariana Grande, so I'm just not. Because the same day that Pedal came out, Shaboozie's album came out, and it will probably be the only time I ever listen to a country album. His new album is called The Outlaw, Cherry Lee, and Other Western Tales. He actually has a comic book or a comic strip. I think it's a comic book that goes with this album. And I think that's super dope. Amazing marketing. I kind of want to read it. I want to look at it. However, I will not listen to this album ever again. It's not a bad album at all. Like, truly, it's not bad. The features are amazing. Jamie Foxx, Tiana Taylor, Kehlani, Sam Elliott. Like, he has a lot of great features on there. I thought maybe this album could make me kind of like country, and I lied to myself. I'm just simply not a country person. I will say, though, the song that I have on repeat from this album is Bullets and Blades featuring Kehlani. That's a really good song. I really, really like that song. But other than that, I gave country a try. In theory, I gave the Shaboozie version of country a try, I guess you could say. And we're not going to do that anymore. So, all right. And that is everything. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Simply Jamilah podcast. I know it gave like promo energy, and I promise that wasn't my intent, but I just kind of wanted to share like my, I guess, story and how I have been able to stay out of the negatives despite the fact that I don't get paid for 2 months. Like, I'm proud and shocked and everything in between. So I just wanted to share what I've been doing to kind of keep myself afloat and keep Clover decently okay. I will say before we go, there will not be a new episode of the podcast next week because that is the week of August 10th, which is insane. And that is going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy week. It is the week before I go back in every sense of the word. So I go back to my job at a brand new school on August 17th, but then I also pick up my classes for my master's program on August 17th. And apparently somebody's already been working in Canvas because I got a Canvas notification. So we are going back and we are like full steam ahead. And because of that, I need to take next week to like kind of get everything together. This isn't that big of a deal, but I have a hair appointment. I do have to finish up summer camp. And then because I'm absolutely insane, I took on an extra shift at another like version of the camp that we have at the same company. I am going to hopefully get my breaks taken care of because that's also a problem we don't got to talk about. I got therapy. I have a kid that I absolutely love, or who, not that, but who I absolutely love. I have a kid I absolutely love who is from the very, very first school that I ever taught at, and she is also about to go into her senior year, and I'm going to take the trip down to her to just eat lunch with her and give her all the good vibes and the good energy as she goes into her senior year. So there's just a lot going on next week. And even this upcoming weekend, when I would normally like take notes and prep for the podcast, no baby, I'm saying goodbye to two of my kiddos who are going out of state. So we have brunch, and then I'm going to an event that a church's like single ministry is hosting, and that's going to take time. And after you just socialize so much, you do get mildly exhausted. And so like Friday night, I'm going to socialize, going to Saturday socializing, going into Sunday socializing. Like there's just a lot happening over the next like 10 days. So for the sake of my sanity and just to have time to like prep for starting school, but then also just like saying goodbye and having these last little moments of what feels like freedom, honestly, I just will not have a new episode of the podcast next week. So I will miss you all, but I will be in your ear in 2 weeks with a new episode of the Simply Jamilah podcast, and I'm sure I'll have a lot to say then. But enjoy, keep enjoying everything, I guess. I don't know how to end this, so I'm just gonna say I love you all. Thank you so much. Goodbye.